fans are making a lot of noise at AT&T Stadium.
Anything that moves between these lines, got to get dealt with.
They hand it to Pollard. He comes running out the right side. Deep to the post to Lamb. At the 5 to the goal line.
Dallas Cowboys Game Night is presented by AT&T, the official 5G innovation partner of the Dallas Cowboys. Miller Lite, the only beer of the Cowboys. It's Miller time. And by NFL Game Pass. You'll never miss a game again. Enjoy full and condensed game replays from Week 1 to the Super Bowl.
For the second straight season, the San Francisco 49ers derailed the Dallas Cowboys' playoff hopes in a 19-12 loss. This time out at Levi's Stadium as the Cowboys' 2022 campaign comes to a close in the NFC divisional round. And for one final time, we welcome you into Cowboys Game Night live from the Star in Frisco alongside the 6-time Pro Bowler, 3-time Super Bowl champ, Nate Newton. I'm Kyle Youmans. Nate, opportunities upon opportunity for this Dallas Cowboys team to get in the end zone, to get their offense off the ground. The defense held them within a single possession the entire game, but it still wasn't enough for Dak Prescott and the Cowboys to come out on top.
It wasn't. Starting with your quarterback, he didn't have one of his finest games here tonight. It reminds you of a couple of weeks against the Commandos where just everything went wrong for him. We had a 49-yard pass late in the game to CeeDee Lamb. We got no points for that. We got a turnover from young Joseph in the special teams. We didn't get any points from that. We just had a bad night trying to score and trying to help our defense. And I'm not saying that the defense didn't have a few holes, but you know what? If you'd have told us that we could have won this game with 19 points, I would have took it any day.
Yeah, and you really limited some of the weapons for San Francisco, Christian McCaffrey, Deebo Samuel and company, but it just wasn't enough. As we take a look at some of the highlights on how this got started, Dallas wanted to get after rookie quarterback Brock Purdy early. They did so on the second play of the game. Osa Odighizuwa with the sack. They forced a couple stops early, but it was San Fran that won the first battle. This time, Dak Prescott dropping back, looking left, and he throws an interception. His 16th of the season and his first of the playoffs. It led to 3 points for San Francisco.
Right there, the route wasn't as sharp as it needed to be, but when the guy ran the route for him, Dak should have just threw it over his head.
Yeah, he threw it underneath instead. How did Dallas answer, though? It was a 14-play, 74-yard drive that led to this, a 4-yard touchdown pitch to Dalton Schultz for 6.
Right there, you see Dalton Schultz set up right there like he's getting ready to pass block, and he falls off. Easy touchdown.
Schultz on the franchise tag. Who's to say he comes back next year? Brett Maher on the PAT. Of course, he struggled last week. He gets this one blocked, so it keeps it at a 6-3 Cowboys lead. San Fran would tie it with a field goal, but Dallas with a chance for points heading into halftime. Again, Dak Prescott under pressure, throws it over the middle. It goes through the hands of CeeDee Lamb and all the way to Fred Warner, a second interception in the first half.
You know, right there, guy underneath, guy on top. I know he want to make a play for CeeDee Lamb, but right there you shouldn't force that. Once again, bad throw into coverage.
Yeah, this one led to a 50-yard field goal try for Robbie Gould. He puts this one in between the uprights. San Francisco up 9-6 heading into the break. Now, Dallas had the ball first. They stalled out, but on the punt, Ray McCloud was all the way back inside his own 15-yard line, reels it in. Then he gets it poked out by Kelvin Joseph. Damone Clark hops on top of the football, and it led to a field goal for Brett Maher, who drilled it. Now we're all tied up at 9. Final minutes of the third. Purdy and San Fran needed a big play. He heaves it downfield. They get the big play off of a tip drill from George Kittle.
Every time this kid get in trouble, man, Kittle bails him out. But right there, I just think boom, if Diggs would have came up with a big hit, we could have separated.
It may have avoided that. Christian McCaffrey into the end zone. The touchdown gives the lead to the Niners 16-9. Now, they did add a field goal later in the game, but this might have been one of the final chances for Dallas to get in the end zone. Kevontae Turpin from his own goal line has a seam, but he runs into the kicker. He's taken down. It led to a field goal try for Brett Maher again. This one from 43 yards out, and he puts this one through. So Brett Maher, at least at this point, the yips, now a thing of the past. He was able to hit a couple field goals in this one. San Francisco, like I said, added a field goal late, but Dallas, prior to the 2-minute warning, had the ball. They had a chance to go down and score. Instead, Dak Prescott sacked. they forced to punt it. So it leaves just a couple seconds left when they get the ball back. Dallas trying to set up a Hail Mary attempt. The completion to the far side to Dalton Schultz, or what we thought was a completion, because upon further review, he never got the second foot in bounds. So it sets Dallas up more than 75 yards from their own goal line. What do they do on the final play? They were trying to go with the toss drill, but it was Kevontae Turpin who gets flattened by Ward, and the game comes to an end. 19-12, the San Francisco 49ers take the Cowboys out of the playoffs for the second straight year, this time in the divisional round, as the offense never got going for Dallas on the road at Levi Stadium. When we come back here on Cowboys Game Night, we'll hear from head coach Mike McCarthy as he wraps up the 2022 season. We'll hear from post-game reaction after the Cowboys fall to San Francisco.
This segment is brought to you by the Texas Lottery. If you have a lucky quarter, it could pay off big when you play the new Cowboys scratch ticket game from the Texas Lottery.
Long offseason awaits for the Dallas Cowboys. Head coach Mike McCarthy may have coached his final game with Dan Quinn and Kellen Moore underneath him as coordinators. Who's to say they are back next year for the Dallas Cowboys? But let's hear from the head coach after the loss to San Francisco out at Levi Stadium.
Can you just talk about the decision to punt on the second drive before the end of the game and not go for it there?
What was the down distance?
4th and 10.
Yeah. That's the answer, yeah.
Calvin Watkins, Mike, just your thoughts on how the defense played overall?
I think really as a whole today, you had two teams just battling out. We knew it was going to be a slugfest, and we just didn't quite do enough. I mean, it's you can go through the statistics, the decisions, and I thought defensively, we did a really good job, for the most part. But yeah, would we like to have a couple more stops? Yes. Do we need more third down conversions on offense? Yes. We could have used that to red zone production. So obviously, just extremely disappointed. This has been an incredible journey. With this group of men, and yeah, we came up short tonight to a very good football team.
Mike Fowers with ESPN. How backbreaking was that back-to-back plays where you lose Pollard and then you have to pick on the next play?
Well, I mean, losing Tony was obviously a shot. Tony is probably clearly one of our most, if not the most productive player, in Tony's and, Zeke, the way we play is all year. It's important for those guys to touch the football. So yeah, that was a big blow for us.
Tim Dallas Morning News. We've talked about Dak's interceptions all year. Some of them aren't his fault, but the two today, in this tight scoring.
Well, I mean, any turnover was big. No different than our takeaway there on the punt. But yeah, scoring position. Obviously, that's points, potential points on the board. And we knew the turnover ratio was going to be huge in today's contest. We thought we'd have some opportunities. Was the plan. We got our hands on some balls. But yeah, you can't turn the ball over. That's always a focus, and that's all I got.
So there's Mike McCarthy following the 19-12 loss. Nate, when you listen to what McCarthy said there, he put it actually very accurately in the fact that you had chances. Turnovers don't necessarily help any of those chances. But what did you think about the job that he did here in 2022 and then pushing into the divisional round?
Excellent job. You lost your quarterback in the first game, and he came through 5 and was pretty successful with the backup quarterback. Got coordinators that he helped. I think he did a great job with Kellum in trying to go over his first 15 at the beginning of the games. We just couldn't get this thing for Dak to understand how important these turnovers are. It's just a shame coming down to the last game like this right here. Those 2 turnovers that he's been averaging doing since his return, it finally caught up with us.
What is your confidence level like in McCarthy if next year, let's say, neither Kellen Moore or Dan Quinn are back in the fold at coordinator?
I think he has enough connections in the league and enough guys that he know that can come in and take their place. I don't know if they will be effective as Coach Quinn is, but I know we can replace the other young.
Kellen Moore.
Yeah.
I mean, both guys are being looked at for
Right.
head coaching positions because of the success that they've had in Dallas. Just you hope you can hold on to one, maybe both of those guys again, but that seems like a far-fetched reality at this point as the season comes to a close. When we come back, though, we'll hear from QB1. Dak Prescott had a rough first half, 2 interceptions, and never got off the ground in the second. We'll hear what he had to say following the loss right after this.
This segment was brought to you by the Texas Lottery. If you have a lucky quarter, it could pay off big when you play the new Cowboys scratch ticket game from the Texas Lottery.
The final stat line for Dak Prescott in the divisional round, 23 of 37 passing, 206 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. Let's hear from Dak Prescott out at Levi Stadium as he takes the podium.
This loss hurt more than last year. Talk about what happened today. Disappointing in the locker room.
Yeah, it hurts. Very, very disappointed. We weren't able to come out this one. Disappointed in my play. Disappointed for the guys in the locker room. Special team, really is. Guys that do things the right way, prepare the right way, believe in each other, a lot of love, and it's unfortunate. It sucks.
Can you take us through both picks?
Yeah, the first one, I guess you just hitched one too many times. I guess MG, understandably hitching 3 times, thought I was going to go on a scramble, and the guy just came back to the ball, made a play. I've got to throw that one away or use my feet, get out of the pocket. And then on the second one, nickel squeezed. Tried to throw a low to CD, but I mean he was able to make a play on it, tip it up in the air, and tip it to the mic. Just 2 throws that I can't have. You can't have in the playoffs. You can't have when you're trying to beat a team like that. You can't have on the road. And no excuses for that. Those 2 are 100% on me.
Dak, take us through the emotion right now. I know disappointed for Jerry said sick, but what's going on?
Yeah, just disappointed. As I said, I mean, guys that played their asses off defense, who gave us an opportunity to win this game, who played hard against a really, really good offense, a really good team, and for us to only put up the points that we did, that's unacceptable. And it starts with me, and I've got to be better. I mean, that's no other way to sugarcoat it.
Tim Cowlishaw, Dallas Morning News. We've talked about the interceptions, and you've said they're going to stop, and in a way they never did. Does that just baffle you that they continued the way they did this year?
Yeah, it's very frustrating. Something I've got to get in the offseason, take a look at all of them. As I said before, they all have their own story, but 2 tonight, as I said, unacceptable. I can't put the ball in jeopardy like that, whether they're tipped up in tight throws or whether I'm late on a stop route. Just can't happen. And the number that it's gotten to is ridiculous. And I can promise that the number will never be this again. I can promise that.
Did you think even with 3 minutes to go still you had a chance?
1,000%. 1,000%. When you prepare the way we do, and you put in all the work that we have and time that we have, especially for those situations. I mean, up until even the last play when we're getting in our pitch it around mode. You've got hope. Things that, as I said, that we've put in time and effort into, and I like being in those positions. I just wasn't able to get anything going.
Let's take a look at the offensive stats, and you look at 3rd down conversions. Certainly that sticks out. Rushing yards, you're held to just 76. Both Ezekiel Elliott and then Tony Pollard leaving the game was a huge key for the Cowboys to not have any success. But where do you start when it comes to the offensive woes?
I just with your quarterback.
Has to, right?
And that's where it all begins at. I mean, I think they sacked him maybe a couple of times, but the offensive line played okay. I mean, we couldn't rush the ball the way we wanted to. We lost, like you said, we lost Tony Pollard, but we were 5 for 15 on 3rd downs. We couldn't not sustain drives to give ourselves a chance. So, and with the 2 turnovers, that was a killer for the game.
Yeah, I think really you look at the opportunities and the turnovers early. Anytime you had an opportunity, you either got close but ended up with a field goal or you gave up the possession.
Yes.
And both of those come back to bite you at some point, especially in a 1-possession game. So we've got Ezekiel Elliott to hear from when we come back after this because that run game never got going as well. What does the future hold for Zeke with more Cowboys Game Night? The San Francisco 49ers came in as the top-ranked run defense in the NFL. That made for a tough day at the office for Ezekiel Elliott, and then Tony Pollard leaving the game didn't make things much easier. Here's what Zeke had to say following the loss.
Zeke, what's the emotion right now? You guys have a team that you felt like had real potential here. You get this close and then have it end this way.
Just hurt by this loss. Hurt by this loss.
On the plane ride back, what will you replay in your mind?
Shoot, I'm gonna watch the whole game and probably watch it a bunch of times.
I think last year you guys had the ball opportunity to go down the field and do something. Same thing again this year. What's holding you back from going down the field and be able to get that touchdown to seal it?
That's a tough situation we had today. Then what we had 45 seconds, no timeouts to go 80. So I mean that's just a tough situation. But I mean we just gotta make the plays on the count.
I'm sorry, I was talking about with 3 minutes. When you had the 3-minute ball, the long 3 minutes.
Just gotta make the plays on the count.
Zeke, since you've been here, you guys have had some really, really good teams. You've just missed in this game, this divisional round. What do you think is missing from getting to that next game?
I don't know.
Frustrated?
Yeah.
What did Pollard going down do to the game plan for you guys?
I mean, it's tough to ever see one of your guys go down. Never want to see that. TP had such a great year. He's been so important for us this year. I mean, when he went down, took all our pony plays out of there. Pony, that's when me and him were on the field at the same time. Yeah.
So there's what Ezekiel Elliott had to say. You can hear more post-game reaction with all of the interviews on DallasCowboys.com online. But when we come back on Cowboys Game Night, Nate Newton and myself will wrap things up. We'll say our goodbyes and look ahead to a 2023 Cowboys season.
Dallas Cowboys Game Night was presented by AT&T, the official 5G innovation partner of the Dallas Cowboys. Reliant, an NRG company. And by NFL Game Pass. You'll never miss a game again. Enjoy full and condensed game replays from Week 1 to the Super Bowl.
19-12, the Dallas Cowboys fall to the San Francisco 49ers as the season comes to a close, this time in the divisional round out at Levi Stadium. We wrap things up here on Cowboys Game Night alongside Nate Newton. I'm Kyle Youmans. Nate, it's been a pleasure working with you on this show for the 3rd straight season. What are your final thoughts as we wrap things up?
Tony Pollard, Connor McGovern, Dalton Schultz. We need to do something with them. Dak got $49 million against the cap. We got to restructure.
Wow, that was quick. I mean, hey, just outline the whole Cowboys offseason in a couple of seconds. Very well done. What's the biggest thing for this Cowboys team outside of maybe trying to bring those guys back in the coaching staff?
Make sure our quarterback go into the lab and find out what his problem is, because he's much better than what he showed tonight and even 2 weeks ago against the Commanders.
Yeah, things didn't go well for the Cowboys. But, hey, no other place that I would rather be than with you and with our crew throughout this season. It's been a pleasure and a dream come true for me as a lifelong Cowboys fan to host these shows pregame and postgame all year long, especially here on Cowboys Game Night. We've got a list of people to thank. I don't want to miss anybody. Caden Gates, Matt Kent, Kevin Timmons, Jody Reimers, Pete, Terrence, Mario, Nancy, Matt Fields, Jazz, Scott Purcell, Rox, Chris Beam, Daniel, D, Alex, and then Haley Sutton, who does a lot of our pregame coverage. We also had Nick Eatman, Barry Church, Nate Newton, Isaiah Stanback, myself, Kyle Youmans, having a ton of fun this year for Cowboys coverage. Keep up to date with everything on DallasCowboys.com throughout the offseason. It's going to be a long one for Cowboys fans as they fall 19-12 in the divisional round of the NFL playoffs. For Nate Newton and our entire crew that I just named, I'm Kyle Youmans saying so long one final time from the Star in Frisco. We'll see you next year on Cowboys Game Night.